Hey again everyone, my name is Lothex and welcome to episode 11 of Boost It or Bust It. It's been another crazy week for me, but I managed to do pretty well on both leveling and gold making this week. My next week will see me out of town, so I won't be releasing episode 12 until the first weekend in May, so again, no video next week. During that episode, I should be well on my way to wrapping the first season of Boost It or Bust It. I plan to come back to this again someday, but we'll focus on some other content for a while before I revisit. 2 weeks ago, I teased that I would be leveling via Pandaland, but at the last minute, I changed my strategy. Thus far, I have leveled without the aid of any add-ons for the most part, but I decided I wanted to try Azeroth Autopilot. For those not familiar, it cuts out the fluff of leveling. It skips quest text, turn-ins, and many of the cutscenes which slow down your experience while leveling. I'll talk more about this add-on when I discuss my busted character. At the time of recording this, I'm up to 296 subscribers, and I hope you decide my content is worth it and subscribe to my channel. If you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to give you the early details of the next series I'm targeting for this channel. I'd love your feedback, so please take a minute to let me know what you think in the comments below. One quick hint, it involves making choices, and you get to contribute week to week. Alright, so let's get right to this week's update by talking about my leveling experience with my Bust It toon. I spent just over 6 hours leveling, earned 6 levels, which puts me at 86. I also spent a little time every day making sure to auction to keep my base gold up. I mentioned out front the add-on Azeroth Autopilot, which in my opinion has its pluses and minuses. The plus for me is it makes things faster. It allows me to turn in quests quicker, but sometimes the quest text is necessary for me to know what I'm doing. I haven't really looked into it much, but I'm sure there's ways to customize this add-on. If you're looking to re-experience the lore of the zone, or if you're tackling the zone for the first time, I'd recommend against this add-on. A lot of time when you look at leveling guides, it focuses so much on skipping through quests that you're just missing stuff. Doing old content always makes me think about my old guildies or friends that I played with at the time. If speed is important to you, this add-on is amazing. I think that I'll continue to use this as I level this guy up to 110. I don't think I'm going to take this guy all the way to max though, as I've already kind of done that research on my boosted toon. From a gold standpoint, I made another 6.6k this week to take me to a total of 44,116 gold. I sold another Bao Z for 18.99 gold, which was my lone pet sale for the week. I also sold this Lord's Cape for just under 2k gold and a ring for just over 1k. It's crazy, but almost anything can sell. The stats on the ring aren't even that great. The final reason I decided to make Kata my place for leveling rather than Pandaland was just that the prices of Obsidian over Ghost Iron are just way better. With the Busted update out of the way, let's take a look at my boosted toon. During this week, my plan was to take advantage of the new raid and unload battle-scarred augment runes. I ended up making about 100 to 200 extra gold on these runes by saving them for raid release. I'll start another stockpile now for 8.2, but that was an easy 10k gold. I had a weird week of pairs for Transmog, because I sold 2 chests, 2 legs, 2 shields, 2 cloaks, and 2 patterns. Here are the highlights between those slots. I left up the patterns because it was only about 500 gold. I sold this emerald breastplate and Astralan robe for 2200 gold. Both are actually really cool looking. For the leggings, I sold a set of commander's leggings for 1300 gold and some royal trousers for 1200 gold. 2500 is not too shabby. For the cloaks, I made 4k combined for the Keeper's Cloak and the Bonecaster's Cape. Nothing special here, but I'm sure someone had a vision for these. Lastly, I sold a pair of shields that came out in BFA. I sold the Dockyard Tarch for 1k gold and Golden Sakali for 3600. This helps show that you shouldn't sleep on current content. Before just scrapping, take a look at the models. As far as pets, I managed to make over 16k on two of the less common pets in the new Rating for Leashes achievement. The Ravenous Prideling sold for $46.50 and the Azure Windkeeper sold for $11,685. Lastly, I managed to sell a few more stacks of the Laystone ore I bought for 4 gold apiece. I finished my week having made 65k gold on the AH and only 4k gold in raw. With that said, I invested in some corium ore, which will sell eventually. At 410k, I reached 91% of my way to recoup the gold from the 4 tokens. Alright, so let's take a few minutes to talk about the future of my channel. I've loved making this series, and I'm firmly now in the home stretch. I've been thinking a lot about the feedback I've gotten from all of you, and also how I need to set myself apart from other YouTubers in the space. Do you remember when I sold this bad boy in episode 9? I got that drop from Island Expeditions, and I kept thinking, it would have looked great with a heroic set from Firelands. This inspired me because I'm so used to making decisions based on the economics of things, rather than a set of pixels for my tunes. Hell, I'm still rocking the worst looking set ever on my boosted tune. So my next series will be dedicated to running dungeons and raids for the purpose of both increasing my Transmog collections and making gold. To allow for optimum learn Transmog, I'll be returning to my roots and playing on my main server. I know that I could just use a class trial, but there are a few side goals I'll be adding to the series as it may become a regular mainstay on the channel. Although I'm still working on the format, here are a few segments I've been considering for the series. So my working title is WoW Transmog Hunting, Earn It or Learn It. Apparently I have an obsession with asking a question and somehow forcing a rhyme. So let's start by going over the rules. These may be amended based on testing and my progression. So I'm looking at doing 13 runs of a dungeon and 2 raids per week, minimum. I like the idea of 13 runs of one single dungeon just for the lucky number 13 side of things. I'm looking at a minimum of 1 BOE transmog learned per armor class. So for each of cloth, leather, mail, and plate. And that the armor must be at least 40%, the top 40% of value. I'm looking for at least minimum one BOE weapon learned per primary stat, so strength, intellect, and agility. A minimum of 1 cloak, and basically that all doubles would be learned. So next, let's look at some of the segments that I have planned. For the first, I'm going to be reaching out to every single one of you, and I am going to be pulling out the 2 top valued learnable items, and you will choose which one that I will learn and which one that I'm hoping to earn. I'm going to have Lothex's Guilty Pleasure, so I'm going to look for the ugliest Mog possible and make sure that I earn that, and maybe sport it at some point during a run. Target acquired, so I'm going to do a research and figure out a specific BOP item that I'm targeting for that week, and I'm going to aim to learn it that week. There may be consequences if I don't. I'm also going to have my route on there. A lot of different people have different guides. I'll share my route and if I make any changes according to the dungeon size and things like that. Also, tier complete. What I want to do is I'd really like to start building some of my tier sets. So once I target a tier, I'm going to count the number of runs that it takes to complete it, just to give you guys an idea if you wanted to do the same. Alright, with that, I want to thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. Please take a few minutes to let me know what you think of the new potential series down below. I, as always, really enjoy creating these videos for you every week. Quick reminder, I will not be posting a video again until the first weekend in May. So until then, I hope you have a great couple of weeks, and thanks so much for everybody tuning in week to week. Take care.